Okay, so you need Arduino. I should take it off from here. So to remove the Arduino, okay, now especially on this one, you need to use a pen or a pencil and slowly pull it from under, because otherwise the pins on one end, because they're still going to be in, they're going to bend terribly out of shape. Okay, so be careful how you remove it. Okay, that's the first item. Second item, you should notice on one of the ends we have a USB plug, right? So that's USB B. No, that's the mini. That's the mini. Sorry, yes, that's the mini, right? And so, so because this is going to be on one side, does that make sense? You won't want to put it with the plug facing inside the board, right? So have the plug facing out of the board. Okay, if that makes sense, this way, right? So that the plug is on one end of the board. Good to go? Okay, so you make sure that you have the legs straddle over the middle rift, and then you just push this down, okay, and we're good to go. Okay, so we can start. Okay, next thing, take your 7 segment. Okay, so those are LEDs, right? Okay, so if you look under, you got 5 pins and 5 pins. Some of you might have an older type. If you do, you can swap it with, because I should have enough of those. What's important to remember, yeah, let's not do it now though, right? Okay. So what's important to remember is that the middle on either side is the common, right? So the middle one on both sides is the common. So just keep that in mind, okay? You'll understand why it's important when we wire it. Okay, so let's plug this guy down. Not too far actually from the Arduino, just so that it's easier for the wires, using shorter wires. Okay, so we'll deal with that, okay? All right, so get it down. Okay, be careful, please. For example, with the pot here, right? Like this one is infamous for this. You guys, some of you guys, you don't pay attention to what the pins. Okay, so this one here, if you see, it's like a roof shape. It's like a triangle shape, right? And it fits right into the holes into a breadboard without any bending, right? So you just have to orient it carefully, and because otherwise these will bend out of shape here. And if you look at your pot currently, it might be like that, bent out, like, you know, like the legs are all bent. So that's the student last year that just took it and not thinking went, ooh, let's try just pushing it hard and see if it, like, of course it will bend, right? Like, and then we wonder why all our LEDs in our box are broken. And I'm just finding this is a big struggle. Okay, yeah, so please try to care, okay, about the components, okay? They're fragile, and just, yeah, just try to be careful. Okay, so this here, okay, so I got my pot. We're going to, so if I show from the side here, you should see how it goes in very nicely, right? You see that? It goes like a triangle shape again, and it will just go right in without any fight with you, right? And then it'll hold really nice, okay? So this is how you put it in, okay? Don't fight with the pins, basically. If they're refusing, there's a reason, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, All right, so now comes the more fun part, right? So now we need to wire that guy. Okay, so this is what I don't like about my setup. I'd love to show the pins. Okay, so this here, but I can't, right? So it's going to have to show from close. Okay, so let's see how good that will be. Okay, so now this is flipped, okay, but we can still read. Okay, so do you see here we got D2, D3, D4, do you see that? D6, look on yours, right? Do you see all of those? Like, they helped you, they gave you a bit of labels. Okay, so do you see those inputs? Those are outputs, they can be inputs though, they can be reconfigured. Okay, so you see D2, D3, D4, all the way to D12. And your D1 and 2, sorry, so 0 and 1, it's this one and this one, okay, but they're not, they're also 2 pins if you wanted to communicate between boards. So they're called RX and TX. So to do like a serial communication, you could have 2 Arduinos talk to each other, okay, and those are the 2 pins you would use, okay? We're not going to do that. So for us in our case, we're going to, so how many wires do we need? Where is it? So how many wires do we need to wire? How many wires do we need to light up the 7 segment? How many wires? How many? How many LEDs are there for drawing 8? Right? 8 uses them all. Right? Right? So how many wires will I need? It's 7, right? Just count with me, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So look at all the digital outputs that we got here, right? D2 all the way to D12, right? So that's plenty, right? So what we'll do, right? We'll start our pinouts, right? For digital, right? For lighting up the LEDs in the 7 segment. We'll start on D2. Make sense? We'll start on D2. So what you do, you find a wire. Okay, so now, anyway, whichever wire. Okay, so you find D2, right? So in my case, it's right here, right? And then I go, now this is the part that you'll need your internet as you're doing this, okay? So, so I can't show this on, actually I can draw it. You guys should Google that right now just so you see. It's just I can't switch my thing because the recording will stop. So just Google 7 segment display pinout, okay, just so you see it. Right, so if I copy it from what I see, right, so I got 5 pins on both ends, right, 5 pins. The 2 middle ones are the common, right, and then A, this is A, this is B, C, D, E, F, G, right, and so my segment A, this one, is A here, this is B, this is C, and then D is here, E is here, and then F, G. Okay, so these you need to follow carefully, right? So now what I'm doing, I'm wiring A, right, which is my first one, right, my D2, right, and so I'll just move here, and it's the second one top right. Second one from the top right, and so I just go here, right, second one, this is not my COM, right, this is my second one from the right, from the top right, okay, and then I'm going to D2. Okay, so now my first segment is wired. I personally like to bend down my wires, okay, just because it makes it cleaner. My wires are not in my way when I'm going to work with it, okay? So let's keep going, okay, because we got 7 of them. Okay, so my third one is here, so my second one, so D3. So now I'm going to do B. Am I still recording? Yes. Okay, D3, and then I go to B, right? So I went to this one. So bend this down, it just makes it cleaner. D4, right? I just go down my line, right? And then this is going to go to C, right? So second one from bottom right, right? I just go up my letters, basically. And then D5, so I'm going to D. So this is second from bottom left. D6. I'm going to E. So E is this one here, right? So I'm going to go to the first one, bottom left. Okay, I just have 2 left to do. So D7. Then I go to F. So that's second from top left. That's right, second from top left. And then D8. And then I go to top left. I'll bend it actually so that it goes in between this way. Okay, so do you see my wiring, right? This is what it should look like, right? If I show from the side, do you see how, I mean, it's not difficult, you guys can do this, right? But it's kind of organized in bus, right? You see all my wires are together. You know, it's not looking super messy, right? Okay, so it's just to help you work, really, okay? Okay, now for the pot. Now for our pot. So, we did draw it. I'll redraw it here. Okay, so, because I'm recording this, so we got our pot. So on one end, we'll put 0 volt. And on the other end, we'll put our 5 volts, which is our VCC. And then the slider will be what I'll send to input A0. Right? So I'll read an analog value from the pot. Okay, so this is why I teach you guys about analog and digital, right? It's the Arduino literally does that. Can work in analog and digital, and anyway, it's just an interesting thing.